Of mine once described it as if her calf had suddenly turned into a stone, gripping her so hard she held her breath. And I want you to imagine this for just a moment. You start a medication that is meant to protect your heart, something your doctor assures will help you live longer. Yet weeks later, your legs begin sending signals that something feels off. Many seniors tell me they think leg cramps are simply part of getting older. They blame dehydration, a bad sleeping position, or even the weather. But what if some cramps are trying to tell us more? What if certain patterns, especially in people taking statins, reveal a story the body has been trying to whisper for months? One of my patients, a gentle, active man in his 70s, began a statin to manage his cholesterol. At first, everything felt normal. Then, almost every night, he found himself waking up with deep, persistent cramps, unlike anything he had before. He brushed them aside until they became impossible to ignore. His experience is far more common than most people realize. Let me share something in simple terms. Statins are among the most effective medications we have for protecting the heart. But in some individuals, they can influence muscle cells, energy production, and even nerve sensitivity. When that happens, the body may respond with unusual tightness, burning, or nighttime cramping that feels different from everyday muscle pain. Now, I want to reassure you. Not all statins cause cramps, and not every cramp is dangerous. But the patterns matter, the timing matters, and most importantly, your body's signals always matter. In the next part, I will walk you through the exact signs that deserve attention, the hidden dangers doctors look for, and the safe adjustments that can bring comfort back to your nights. Before we continue, if this video is helping you understand your health, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. It keeps this community growing and gives us the motivation to create more life-saving guidance for you. Let's continue this journey together. Your body is speaking. I'm here to help you listen. Why statin-related leg cramps matter. When we start talking about statins, I know many of you listening right now either take them, used to take them, or have been told you should. Statins save lives. They protect the heart, lower cholesterol, reduce stroke risk, and have been prescribed to millions of older adults for good reasons. But like everything in medicine, there is always another side of the story, one we don't talk about nearly enough, and that is how they interact with aging muscles, tired nerves, and the delicate chemistry that keeps your legs calm at night. In my practice, I see a pattern again and again. Seniors come in describing new nighttime leg cramps or tightness in their calves that wasn't there before. They wonder if it's just age or dehydration. But when we look more closely, something interesting appears. A good number of them had recently started a statin or had their dosage increased. Their body wasn't failing, it was responding. To understand why this matters, imagine your muscles as tiny engines. They run all day long, helping you walk, stand, lift, stretch, and balance. These engines depend on something called CoQ10 to produce energy smoothly. Statins are incredibly effective at reducing cholesterol, but in some people, especially older adults, they also lower CoQ10 levels. When that happens, the muscle cells struggle to relax after contracting. It's like hitting the brakes on a car whose brake pads have worn thin. You still stop, but everything feels strained and shaky. Now add in the natural changes that come with age. Muscles lose mass. Circulation slows. Metabolism becomes less efficient. The tiny channels that move minerals in and out of muscle cells don't fire as quickly as they once did. When you combine all of that with a medication that slightly alters muscle energy production, nighttime becomes the perfect storm for cramps. That's why statin-related leg cramps matter. Not because statins are harmful to everyone, and not because they should be feared, but because your body deserves to be understood, not dismissed. When seniors experience leg cramps after starting statins, it can be a sign that their muscles are asking for support or adjustment, not a sign that they must live with the pain. And as we continue, I'll show you how to tell when a cramp is simply a nuisance and when it's your body waving a yellow flag. But before we do that, there's something else you should know. These cramps tend to show up most often at night or in the early morning. That timing isn't random. It's connected to how statins work, how muscles repair themselves, and how your circulation naturally slows down while you sleep. In the next part, we'll take a deeper look at what really happens inside the muscles when statins trigger pain, and how you can recognize the early patterns long before the symptoms interfere with your daily life. How statins trigger muscle pain and leg cramps. When we look closely at how statins interact with the body, especially an aging body, the picture becomes clearer. These medications work by reducing cholesterol production in the liver, and that's a powerful tool for protecting the heart. But cholesterol doesn't only exist in the bloodstream. Your muscle cells use a small amount of cholesterol to help maintain their structure, repair daily wear and tear, and keep their internal machinery running smoothly. Imagine for a moment that every muscle cell is a small workshop. Inside it, countless workers are repairing tiny fibers, restoring energy, and preparing the muscle for another day of movement. Statins can sometimes slow down this workshop, not enough to cause harm in most people, but in some older adults, especially those with naturally weaker muscles, the slowdown becomes noticeable. Repairs take longer, energy resets more slowly, and the muscles become more sensitive to strain, especially when you're asleep. This is why leg cramps connected to statins often appear at night. During the day, movement keeps your circulation strong and your muscles warm. At night, everything slows, blood flow decreases, nerves become more sensitive, and those small workshops inside your muscles, already working at a reduced pace, start to misfire. The result is a sudden tightening, a deep ache, or a sharp spasm that pulls you out of sleep. Many of my patients describe it as a tight band wrapping around their calf or a burning sensation that won't let go. Others say their muscles feel heavy, as if they've walked miles when they haven't even left the bed. You may relate to that feeling. It's not simply pain. It's the body's way of signaling that the balance inside the muscle has shifted. Another reason statins can trigger cramps lies in the way they affect the mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside each muscle cell. These structures help convert nutrients into usable energy. When they slow down, even slightly, the muscle fibers struggle to relax after contracting. That lingering tension builds until it erupts in a cramp. And something else happens that people rarely talk about. When muscle fibers don't fully relax, nerves nearby become irritated. They fire more easily, like an electrical wire with worn insulation. A small signal becomes a big one, and a harmless twitch becomes a painful spasm. It's important to say this clearly. Not everyone who takes a statin will have leg cramps. Most people tolerate them well. But for those who do experience cramps, the pain isn't random. It's part of a chain reaction between muscle energy, nerve sensitivity, and overnight circulation changes. Once you understand that chain, you can begin to break it. In the next part, we'll talk about the early red flags that tell you a cramp may be more than just a nuisance, and when it may be connected to statin use. These signs matter because the sooner you recognize them, the sooner you can adjust, protect your muscles, and regain restful nights. When statin leg cramps are a red flag. As we move deeper into this conversation, I want to gently help you recognize the moments when a leg cramp deserves your full attention. Not fear, not panic. Awareness. Because awareness is what keeps you safe. Most statin-related cramps are mild and fade on their own, but some carry messages your body doesn't want you to ignore. I remember a gentleman in his late 70s who told me he could feel the difference the moment his cramps shifted. He had lived with occasional tightness for years, but things changed after his dose of statins was increased. One morning, he woke up with such intense pain in one leg that he had to sit on the edge of the bed for several minutes before he could stand. The pain didn't just bother him, it worried him. And that worry brought him into my office at exactly the right time. When a cramp consistently affects only one leg, especially the same leg day after day, it's one of the first signs doctors pay attention to. Muscles affected by statin sensitivity tend to cramp on both sides, but when one leg is shouting louder than the other, something deeper may be happening. Circulation issues, nerve compression, or muscle fibers that are struggling more than they should. Another red flag is muscle weakness that lingers after the cramp ends. If your leg feels heavy, shaky, or unreliable when you try to walk, it may be more than a simple muscle spasm. Weakness is the body's way of saying that the muscle has been stressed for too long, and statins can amplify that stress in susceptible individuals. Some seniors tell me they sense a slow shift over time. Their usual morning stiffness changes into burning or deep aching. They start feeling fatigued halfway through a routine walk. They notice their calves feel unusually tight when climbing stairs. These gradual changes matter because they show the muscles aren't recovering the way they should. There's also the moment when cramps suddenly intensify after a dosage change. Your body is incredibly observant, and it reacts when something goes off balance. If the cramps become sharper, longer, or more frequent soon after a new statin prescription or a higher dosage, it's a meaningful signal. And then there are the rare but serious symptoms that demand immediate attention: dark, tea-colored urine, significant swelling, pain so strong it stops you mid-step. These may be signs of severe muscle breakdown, something statin users must never overlook. Thankfully, it's uncommon, but it's the very reason why we need conversations like this. One of my patients ignored his worsening cramps for months. He assumed they were simply part of aging. When he finally came to me, a blood test showed his muscle enzymes were much higher than normal, indicating significant strain. Thankfully, we caught it before it caused lasting damage. If he had waited longer, the story might have been different. You deserve better than guesswork when it comes to your body. You deserve clarity. And the more clearly you understand these red flags, the more confidently you can respond. In the next part, we will explore how to tell the difference between ordinary cramps and those influenced by statins. That distinction empowers you to take the right steps at the right time. Differentiating statin cramps from normal cramps. As we continue, I want to help you understand something that brings clarity to so many seniors who feel confused about what their body is trying to say. Not all cramps are created equal. Some come from simple, everyday causes, while others are shaped by the way your muscles respond to statins. Recognizing the difference can save you from unnecessary fear or, at times, help you catch a real problem early. Let's start with the cramps most seniors know well. The kind that shows up after a long day of sitting, a night of poor sleep, or a stretch of not drinking enough water. These cramps are sharp, sudden, and often triggered by dehydration or low electrolytes. They usually fade within seconds or minutes. And once you hydrate, stretch gently, or get moving, the muscle tends to recover quickly. These are the cramps your body whispers through, almost as if saying, "I need a little help, but I'll be okay." Statin-related cramps often feel different. They are deeper, heavier, and sometimes more persistent. Instead of fading quickly, they can leave a dull ache behind, as if the muscle is tired from the inside out. Some seniors describe it as a burn rather than a simple tightness. Others say it feels like their muscles simply don't have the same energy they used to. This makes sense because statins can interfere with energy production inside muscle cells, weakening the way they contract and relax. Another important distinction is fatigue. Normal cramps don't usually make your legs feel weak afterward. But when a cramp is tied to statin sensitivity, people often describe a strange heaviness or sluggishness that lingers well after the spasm ends. This lingering weakness is one of the clearest clues doctors look for. The timing also matters. Everyday cramps often appear at random times, during a long walk, after sitting too long, or in the middle of the night. Statin-related cramps, on the other hand, frequently show up at night or early in the morning when muscles are already at their lowest energy point. It's the moment your body's healing processes are most active and when strained muscle fibers tend to reveal their struggles. There is also the emotional side of this. Many seniors tell me they start to feel unsure of their own judgment. They wonder if the pain is just age, if they're imagining it, or if something is genuinely wrong. I want you to know that your instincts matter. You live inside your body every day, and you feel patterns before anyone else does. If a cramp feels different from what you've experienced most of your life, that difference is meaningful. And finally, one of the most common challenges is misdiagnosis. It's far too easy for seniors to blame every discomfort on aging or arthritis. I've met people who lived with months of statin-related pain simply because no one explained what those symptoms could mean. Once we adjusted their medication or supported them with proper nutrition and hydration, their cramps improved dramatically. Understanding these distinctions is not meant to create worry. It's meant to give you confidence. The more you recognize how your body communicates, the more control you regain over your health. In the next part, we will explore how the heart, circulation, and statins intersect, and why doctors take leg cramps seriously when evaluating cardiovascular health. This connection may surprise you, and it will empower you with knowledge that truly matters. Heart and circulation connection. Many seniors are surprised when I tell them that leg cramps are often connected to more than just the muscles themselves. They can be a reflection of how well the heart and circulatory system are supporting the body. Statins are prescribed to protect your heart, yet the relationship between these medications, your circulation, and your muscles is more complex than it seems. Understanding this connection can give you the clarity you deserve. Your muscles depend on a steady flow of oxygen-rich blood to stay relaxed and functional. When circulation slows or becomes impaired, even slightly, muscles begin to tighten. They lack the fuel they need, they send distress signals. That tightness you feel can be the body's way of saying, "I'm not getting enough support down here." And for seniors, those signals often show up early in the morning, after hours of lying still, or at night when circulation naturally dips. Statins play an important role in preventing heart attacks and strokes by lowering cholesterol and stabilizing blood vessels. But sometimes, especially in older adults, the same pathways that protect the heart create unexpected tension in the muscles. The balance between supporting cardiovascular health and maintaining muscle comfort becomes delicate. This is why doctors pay close attention when someone on statins suddenly begins having deeper, more persistent cramps. There are also circulation issues that have nothing to do with medication but can mimic statin cramps. Peripheral artery disease, or PAD, narrows the arteries in the legs. When blood flow drops, the muscles ache or cramp during walking, then ease when resting. Blood clots can create swelling, warmth, or redness in one leg. Varicose veins and chronic venous insufficiency can cause morning stiffness or heaviness. These conditions often announce themselves quietly at first, through small changes like a cramp that lasts longer than it used to, or discomfort during the first steps of the day. This is why doctors sometimes order simple tests when cramps become frequent or unusual. An ankle brachial index test checks how well blood flows to the legs. Ultrasound can rule out clots. A CK enzyme test shows whether muscles are under excessive strain from statins. None of these are complicated or painful. They are simply tools to help us understand your body's signals more clearly. What matters most is not jumping to conclusions. Not every cramp is dangerous, and not every statin reaction is harmful. But when your heart, circulation, and muscles begin sending messages at the same time, that's worth paying attention to. Think of it as your body asking for a little more balance, a little more support, and a little more awareness. As we continue this journey, you'll see how strengthening your circulation, protecting your muscles, and mineral and metabolic causes that mimic statin cramps. As we explore the story behind leg cramps, it becomes clear that statins aren't always the only factor. In fact, many seniors experience muscle pain or cramping that looks almost identical to statin side effects, yet the true cause lies somewhere else. The body is wonderfully intricate, and when minerals shift or metabolism slows, the muscles can react in ways that confuse even the most attentive person. One of the most common contributors is low magnesium. This mineral helps muscles relax after they contract, and when levels fall, even slightly, the muscle fibers struggle to release. The result is tightness, twitching, or those sudden middle-of-the-night cramps that feel like a rope being pulled too tight. Magnesium levels often drop as we age, especially in people who take certain medications or have digestive issues that reduce absorption. Potassium plays a different but equally essential role. It keeps the electrical signals in muscle cells stable. Without enough potassium, those signals misfire and create spasms. Some seniors develop low potassium from diets lacking fruits and vegetables, while others lose it through diuretics prescribed for blood pressure or heart conditions. When potassium dips, the cramps that follow can feel frighteningly similar to statin-related muscle tightness. Calcium is another quiet hero. It supports muscle contraction, bone strength, and nerve communication. As we grow older, calcium absorption declines, particularly in people who avoid dairy or have underlying thyroid or vitamin D issues. When calcium is low, the muscles may tighten unpredictably, especially in the early morning when the body has spent hours depleted. Underlying metabolic conditions also play a role. Thyroid imbalance can cause widespread muscle pain and fatigue. Kidney issues may shift electrolytes in ways that strain the muscles. A senior may think their statin is causing discomfort when, in reality, their body is struggling to manage fluids, minerals, or hormones. I often think of a woman I cared for in her late 70s. She came to me convinced that her statin was harming her. She struggled with nightly cramps that woke her from sleep and left her scared to move in the morning. After a few simple tests, we discovered she was severely dehydrated and had low magnesium from years of inadequate water intake and digestive problems. Once we replenished her minerals and improved her hydration habits, her cramps nearly vanished. She remained safely on her statin, protected her heart, and slept comfortably again. Stories like hers remind us that leg cramps rarely tell a single story. They reflect the entire orchestra of your body's functions: hydration, nutrition, circulation, nerve health, metabolism, and yes, the medications you take. This complexity is not meant to overwhelm you, but to empower you. When you understand the possible causes, you gain choices. And choices give you control. As we continue through this topic, we'll look at the practical steps you can take to reduce discomfort, support your muscles, and protect your long-term health, no matter which factors are influencing your cramps. Safe ways to reduce statin-related leg cramps. When seniors first begin to experience leg cramps while taking statins, the most common reaction is fear. Fear that the medication is harming them, fear that the pain means something serious, or fear that they must choose between protecting their heart and protecting their muscles. I want you to know, you don't have to choose. There are many safe, practical ways to support your body while still benefiting from the heart protection that statins offer. The first and most important step is communication. Many people silently endure muscle pain because they assume it's an unavoidable consequence of aging or medication. But dosages can be adjusted. Statins come in different strengths and different types, and some are gentler on the muscles than others. I've seen patients experience dramatic improvements simply by switching to a statin that works more smoothly with their metabolism. Another option is alternate day dosing. For some seniors, taking the medication every other day maintains the cholesterol-lowering benefits while giving the muscles more time to recover. This is not something to try alone, of course, but it's a conversation worth having with your doctor. Your treatment plan should always feel tailored to your body, not forced upon it. Hydration also plays a powerful role in muscle comfort. Muscles that are even mildly dehydrated become more sensitive to cramping. Drinking water earlier in the day rather than late at night supports both circulation and restful sleep. Along with hydration, incorporating magnesium and potassium into your meals can strengthen the body's natural ability to relax muscles and prevent spasms. Foods like leafy greens, bananas, yogurt, and nuts nourish the muscles from the inside out. Some seniors benefit from adding CoQ10, a nutrient involved in energy production inside muscle cells. Research on CoQ10 varies, but many older adults report noticeable relief when they supplement consistently. It's simple science. Statins can lower CoQ10 levels, and replenishing it can improve muscle energy and reduce discomfort. Again, this is something to discuss with your healthcare provider to find the right approach. Gentle stretching, particularly in the evening, can also make a meaningful difference. The muscles relax when they feel supported. Even 5 minutes of light calf stretches, ankle circles, or slow walking before bed can reduce the likelihood of spasms overnight. Think of it as preparing your muscles for rest the way you prepare your mind. None of these steps are complicated. They are small acts of care that work together to restore balance. The goal is not to eliminate statins, but to make them as safe and effective as possible for your unique body. Your comfort matters just as much as your cardiovascular health, and when both are cared for, your overall well-being rises. If this video is helping you understand your health, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. It gives us the motivation to create more life-saving content for you. As we continue, you'll learn exactly when cramps signal a problem that needs urgent attention and how to protect your muscles with confidence and clarity. When to contact a doctor immediately. As much as I want to reassure you, I also want you to feel empowered to recognize the moments when your body is asking for immediate attention. Most leg cramps, even those influenced by statins, are manageable and not dangerous. But there are certain signs that should never be ignored, and understanding them can protect your long-term health. One of the most important signals is severe muscle pain that lasts longer than a day. Normal cramps usually fade quickly, leaving only mild soreness. But when the discomfort is intense, lingering, or spreading, it may be a sign that the muscle fibers are under significant stress. This can happen when the body reacts strongly to statins, and it's your cue to reach out to your healthcare provider. Another sign is weakness that interferes with your ability to walk or lift your leg. This isn't the kind of heaviness that comes from a typical cramp. It feels different, almost as if the muscle has lost its power. Some seniors describe it as their leg being unable to wake up. When weakness accompanies cramps, it can indicate that the muscle is struggling at a deeper level. Swelling, redness, or warmth in one leg must also be taken seriously. These symptoms may point to circulation problems or the early stages of a blood clot. While statins don't cause clots, muscle pain from statins can mask other conditions that appear at the same time. And because clots can develop quietly, your body's signals are essential. If a leg looks or feels different from usual, especially if the swelling is new or worsening, it's time to get it checked. Fever or a general sense of being unwell combined with muscle pain is another red flag. These may indicate inflammation or infection, especially if symptoms progress quickly. And while rare, statins can sometimes trigger a severe reaction called rhabdomyolysis, where muscle tissue breaks down rapidly. Signs include very dark or tea-colored urine, extreme fatigue, or a sudden spike in muscle pain. If you ever notice these symptoms, medical attention is needed immediately. I know these possibilities can sound frightening, but knowledge gives you power. Recognizing early signs allows your doctor to protect you before anything becomes dangerous. Most seniors who reach out early recover quickly and safely, often just by adjusting medication, improving hydration, or addressing mineral balance. Your body never wants to scare you. It wants to guide you. When it speaks loudly, it's because it needs help, not because it's failing. And by listening with awareness and compassion, you give yourself the care you deserve. As we move forward, let's explore the daily habits that can help keep your muscles strong, your circulation. Lifestyle habits that help seniors reduce cramps. By now, you can see just how many factors influence leg cramps, especially for seniors taking statins. The good news is that your body responds beautifully to small, consistent habits. These changes don't require major effort or complicated routines. They simply ask for awareness, gentleness, and a willingness to support your muscles and circulation each day. One of the most powerful habits is warming up your legs before bedtime. Muscles love preparation. A few slow calf stretches, ankle circles, or gentle steps around the room remind your body that movement is safe and supported. Seniors often underestimate how still the body becomes in the evening. By reactivating circulation, even for just a few minutes, you dramatically reduce the likelihood of overnight spasms. Food choices are another gentle but effective tool. Magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, and bananas can help soothe the muscles. Potassium found in oranges, yogurt, or sweet potatoes keeps electrical signals steady. These aren't dramatic interventions. They're the kind of choices that fit seamlessly into your day, nourishing your muscles long before a cramp decides to appear. Hydration is equally essential. Many older adults avoid drinking water at night because they don't want to interrupt sleep. I understand that completely. But by drinking water earlier in the day and pairing dinner with hydrating foods like cucumbers, berries, or soup, you give your muscles the fluid balance they need. A well-hydrated muscle is less likely to spasm, especially during the quiet hours of sleep. Improving nighttime circulation can also make a remarkable difference. Some seniors find relief by elevating their legs briefly before bed, while others sleep better after warming the calves with a soft towel or heat pack. These small acts help blood flow freely, delivering oxygen and minerals where they're needed most. Light morning movement is equally important. Before stepping out of bed, take a moment to wiggle your toes, flex your ankles, or stretch your calves. This gentle wake-up call prepares your muscles and circulation for the first steps of the day, which are often the moments when cramps strike hardest. And if you're taking statins, consider creating a routine to check in with your body each week. Notice patterns. Has anything changed? Are the cramps getting worse or better? Do they appear after dosage changes or stressful days? Awareness is the foundation of prevention. The more you understand your body's trends, the easier it becomes to support yourself compassionately and effectively. These lifestyle habits remind us of a simple truth. Your muscles, your heart, and your nerves are always working together. When you nourish one, you support them all. And when you choose small daily actions that encourage balance, your body responds with comfort, strength, and a renewed sense of ease. Now let's bring these ideas to life with real stories from seniors who overcame statin-related cramps and reclaimed their mobility and peace of mind. Real-life success stories. Whenever I talk about statin-related leg cramps, I think of the faces and voices behind the stories. These aren't abstract medical cases. These are real people, seniors just like you, who trusted their instincts, asked the right questions, and found relief through understanding their bodies. Their journeys remind us that improvement is always possible, and that no one has to suffer in silence. There was a gentleman in his early 70s who came to me after weeks of waking up with deep, almost bruising leg cramps. He assumed it was simply age catching up with him. But once we talked through his symptoms, it became clear that the cramps began shortly after a change in his statin dosage. With his cardiologist's guidance, we adjusted the medication slightly. Within a few weeks, the cramps softened, then disappeared altogether. He later told me he felt as if he had been given his mornings back. Another patient, a woman in her late 70s, struggled with both diabetes and frequent leg cramps. She was convinced her statin was the cause. But her blood work revealed something else. Her blood sugar had been fluctuating, straining her nerves and worsening nighttime cramps. Once she stabilized her glucose levels and added a few mineral-rich foods to her routine, her cramps improved dramatically. Her statin remained part of her heart care plan, but now it worked in harmony with the rest of her body. I remember a third patient, a kind-hearted woman who had survived a heart attack years earlier. She began experiencing sharp cramps in one leg that made her afraid to walk in the morning. She assumed it was the medication again, but an ultrasound revealed early vascular disease. The cramps were her body's warning signal. Because she noticed them early and reached out, we were able to begin treatment before the condition advanced. She once told me that listening to her body might have saved her life. And then there was a man in his 60s who felt constant heaviness in his legs after taking statins for several years. He tried stretching, hydration, and diet changes, but nothing seemed to help. After discussing CoQ10 supplementation with his doctor, he began taking it daily. Within weeks, he noticed more energy and fewer spasms. For him, the improvement wasn't just physical. It gave him confidence that his heart medication didn't have to come at the cost of his comfort. Each of these stories carries its own lesson, but they share a powerful truth. Relief comes when you listen, learn, and take action with compassion for your body. No matter your age, your history, or your challenges, your body is always communicating, and it is always capable of responding to care. As we move toward the closing of this video, I want you to feel the same hope these patients felt. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to take a breath and let something settle gently in your heart. Leg cramps, even the frightening ones, are not punishments. They are not signs that your body has given up. They are messages, quiet invitations asking you to look closer, to care a little deeper, and to honor the remarkable body that has carried you through so many seasons of life. Your legs have walked you through decades of responsibility, love, work, challenges, and triumphs. They have supported you on days when your heart was heavy and carried you forward when you weren't sure you had the strength. They have been loyal to you, and now they simply ask for compassion, nourishment, and attention in return. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: there is always hope. Even in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, your body can heal. Your circulation can improve. Your muscles can relax again. Your mornings can feel lighter. Small, consistent daily habits can create powerful change. Sometimes it begins with something as simple as asking the right questions or noticing a new pattern. Sometimes it begins with adjusting your medications or adding minerals your muscles are quietly craving. You are never powerless in your own health. Every morning gives you a fresh chance to listen to your body with kindness. Every night offers an opportunity to support it with good habits, and every signal your body sends is meant to guide you, not frighten you. And remember, you never have to make sense of these signs alone. Here at Senior Health Daily, I walk this journey with you, helping you understand what your body is saying and how to respond with confidence and care. Your body still listens. It still responds, and it still wants to carry you forward. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this video brought you clarity, comfort, or hope, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily so we can continue growing together. There is always a path forward, and you never have to walk it alone.